So again, thank you and welcome everyone for the webinar by RBS Intellect. And we have been very grateful that we have some great panelists today. So again, as what you see on the screen, um, today we are talking about growing importance of career coaching and job guidance, which not only help you to decide the career and what area you want to choose, but at the same time, it will also help you to support in towards your job outcomes and how to find a kind of job in New Zealand. So as we have two panelists with me, I'll give one both the panelists to talk for 30 seconds about them and what they have been done in the past. So Kate, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. So as you can see, I'm Kate. I've got over 30 years of working in the New Zealand job market. I specifically owned a recruitment company that was nationwide, and we were a generalist. So we assisted people getting work through most areas of corporate, also into IT, engineering, and medical.
Great, thank you.
Sorry, just quickly, the benefit, obviously, of a program like this is that you're going to get specialist help from an industry expert that knows how to deal with corporates to get you the best job.
Great, and thank you, Kate, for that. And I can assure you that there's a lot to talk. Okay, Karen, over to you.
Hi everyone, my name's Karen. I've, like Kate, she's had quite a number of years in recruitment, but I've also had 20 years, almost 15, 20 years in HR. I've worked from both sides as a consultant, and I've also done leadership coaching and career coaching. So just prior to COVID, I was working with skilled migrants, helping them find jobs here in New Zealand and career coaching them through to give them more confidence. Yeah, so that's me.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Kate. I can tell you that I have a lot of questions to ask for sure, but we'll go with the presentation on the floor. So, guys, as whenever we start the presentation, we always start about why New Zealand and what's the benefit of studying in New Zealand. Because again, we want to see that how the study to work pathway goes over, and you can live in New Zealand. So, New Zealand again, it's one of the excellent education system. We are a Commonwealth education system, so we are one of the top 5 OECD country where a lot of students come to study and find work and towards migration too. All the universities of New Zealand are in top 500. The biggest university of Auckland, is in top 100. So we are into one of the world-class education system where you can choose from 5,500 different courses available to you. Now, like I said, diverse range of study. So we are not a small destination, though in a population we are 5.5 million people, but if in terms of the weight and the work we do produce a lot of new startups every year. We are everywhere in terms of launching rockets. You talk about mechanical, civil, a lot of areas we are working in. What we also say, and which is very good for the parents, is that it's a safe and peaceful destination. We are not landlocked country. We are not joined with the land. We are an island country, which means that you have less chance of any political or any other issues which are going on across different sides of the world. Same time, students are allowed to work part-time while they're studying. They can work full-time while they're on the break, and they have options of post-study work visa. Now, the reason of this talk about today about job guidance and the career guidance support is that students are actually, when they come to the country, they need a lot of handholding and support. What we've seen, rather than they spend time and energy of putting or finding job, we try to make that journey a bit easier and bit more streamlined, and that's where we will be talking about it today. Now, coming down with quality of life, yes, one of the peaceful destination. At the same time, it's a very good or very well put country to raise a family or to take your life in the next direction. But again, this is we'll be talking about more when we do individually. What I'll say is that you, whatever questions you're thinking in your mind in terms of study or in terms of job guidance, please put in the Q&A box while we are talking. Now, apart from the New Zealand, we also talk about the New Zealand education system. The education system in New Zealand is similar to a lot of Commonwealth countries. The only one major difference we see is that we have levels we call, which is again, when we see as doctoral or a PhD qualification, we call as a level 10. When we call as a master's qualification, which is level 9, 1 year postgraduate diploma, or 1.5 year master's. Again, they are two different, but 1 year PG diploma will be level 8. We have a unique pre-master's qualification called graduate diploma, which is level 7. And on top of it, we have our level 7 bachelor's, which is 3 year. We have various diplomas, which are trade diplomas to go in. And then certificate level 1 to 3, which I believe a lot of international students normally go for a bachelor's to master's qualification. So again, I'm just covering an overview today. We'll talk about the job area, which is our key structure or key discussion topic today. So what I'll do is that rather than delaying a lot of things, I'll hand over to Kate and Karen, though I'll be managing the presentation today in terms of moving forward. So Kate, I'm moving to a slide which you'll be starting your first brief about the program. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's totally fine. So first of all, I just want to let you all know that getting a job anywhere in the world today is incredibly competitive. So you've got to make sure that you give yourself the best start. So the program that we've put together with RBS is going to allow you to shortcut a lot of things that can be frustrating when you're coming into the job market. So when working with someone like myself and Karen, we're going to give you the best opportunity because obviously we understand how employers work, what they're looking for, and what you need to do to put your best foot forward to be able to get an interview. That starts with the right CV, the way that you put your emails together, the way that you correspond back and forward, what kind of questions that you ask, the way that you turn up. So our program will allow you to be the entire package when you're coming along for job interviews. The advantage also is that because of my experience of 30 years and Karen's as well of 15 to 20, we have an immense amount of contacts in the New Zealand market. I mean, I've worked with some of the top corporates throughout New Zealand, so I've got lead-in into a lot of these businesses that, I'm a phone call away. Which is obviously a big advantage as well. So I know exactly what they look for, so I can make sure that with a program that we're providing you, you're going to have the best advantages. All right, so with the slide here, it's a kind of a bit of a process that we go through. So we first sit down and we make sure we assess what you're actually looking for and making sure that your path or the career that you're choosing is the right one for you. Along with Karen, she'll set some goals. She'll tailor a plan with you. She'll get your CV ready, making sure that your cover letter is correct, and provide you all the necessary guidance you need right through to how to turn up at an interview along the way. So we are somebody you can call on a regular time. We're someone that you can lean on. You can ask lots of questions, and that will set you apart from a lot of candidates in the market that are looking. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of an example of my daughter. My daughter is 20 years old. She's just this year finished university. And the market to find work for a grad is incredibly hard. She spent 3 months looking before she just started to use her mum's expertise, big mistake, and she struggled. She then turned around to me and said, "Mum, can you help?" So I helped her through the entire process. She applied for a role at a leading corporate in New Zealand and Auckland recently. There were 600 applicants that applied for this role. There were 3 openings. 2 were in IT and 1 was in corporate. From the start, from her application to the finish, was about a 6-week process. And this was from formal interviews, from online interviewing, for 2 days in-house testing, like coming and actually working in the business for a couple of days, then obviously reference checking. And I can hands down say that if she hadn't utilized my experience on what to ask, how to dress, how to turn up, how to act, she would not have set herself apart from everybody else, because I knew that business and I knew the people that in that organization. So from 600 applications, she was offered the 1 role in the corporate sector. So that's how important it is to lean on people like Karen and myself with our expertise to help you best find the role. All right, so this kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the sector at the moment. As you know, globally, the employment market is a little bit all over the show. Like even people in London are finding it hard to get work. So I mean, it's just the way that the world is turning. And there are always different types of sectors that do well at different times. So at the moment, obviously, AI is a big sector. IT will never go away. Engineering is obviously important. Healthcare is another one. So, I mean, if you're in those sectors, or even if you're broader than that, there is obviously work for you. But what I need to say here is that you might have all the skills or the training, but unless you have the interpersonal skills and unless you have the way that you come across and the way that you can communicate and interact with your team members, then that's going to stop you actually from getting work. So it's important that we test, I guess, your ability to make sure that you're the best person for the role, that you have got strong communication, that you do work well within teams. And if you are put into that situation when you need to answer those questions, then we have those answers ready for you so you know how to answer them succinctly.
Sorry, I just want to say and add to that is that, Kate, for everyone, that the market has been playing a bit. If you see the levels are going up, so which means a lot more have to be done to make sure that you are into that place of getting the job.
It's tougher and tougher. It really is.
So,
we just
no, yeah, we just went next slide.
Okay, great. So obviously there are thousands and thousands of job seekers. You know, when I worked in recruitment, a lot of my clients used to say to me, look, just find me someone with the right attitude. Someone that they may have the skill set, but attitude is everything. So you need to take that into consideration, obviously, when going for a job interview as well. So here are the 4 quadrants, obviously, that you're looking at, important to look at. So we can obviously latch into our personal and professional networks, which is harder for someone who's not connected. So with Karen and my background, we've got plenty of leads in. We can also help with career changes and transitions. So sometimes, you know, going through figuring out where you want to go, what you want to do you want to work for a large corporate, a small corporate, more family owned? What are the advantages of all those things? What kind of environment could you be walking into? Are you walking into a toxic environment, or are you walking into a really family environment, or something that's great and also it's very encouraging? So you'll get that from our knowledge of working with these businesses. So it's important when you're a graduate and you do start that you are, I guess, handheld in a certain way. It takes time to settle down and to fit in. And especially if you're coming from overseas, you don't know our culture, and every country is different. So we will help you, I guess, emerge into that business market as best as we possibly can, and have those conversations with management, team leaders who will be looking after you, so you feel like you've got the support around you to make sure that you don't struggle.
And an idea is that sorry, just adding again, Kate, make sure it's easier, because we are into the ways that things will require some kind of realignment. Now, there are a lot of people around you. Just make sure that we are into the right space of talking.
All right, so here's obviously the most important part: how to use recruitment specialists coming into the job market. Now, as an owner of an agency, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of recruitment agencies nationwide, through small places to large businesses. As you can imagine, agencies get hundreds and hundreds of CVs that come through into roles every day. So as an expert, I got to the stage where I could literally assess a CV, truly in literally a couple of minutes. I could look and guide through and quickly scan what I was looking for very, very fast, because I did this every day, all day. So it is vital to get your CV perfectly correct. Now, there are a lot of places that offer free CV services, but I'm telling you right now, that's very generic. What we need to do is we need to sit down and we've got to really pull out things from you that you probably don't even understand or know that you have, skill sets, traits, back experiences that we can actually put into your CV that actually pushes you one step ahead. We know what to look for. We know what to add in. So when you pay, or nobody to say, look, to whack things together, it's a very stock standard. It's not going to set yourself apart from those hundreds and hundreds of CVs that come through to recruiters' desks. And then when that phone call comes in saying, hey, we want to contact you, you need to know exactly what to say, how to answer the questions to then move to that next stage. It's not an automatic process. On top of that, Every agency is different. We don't all work the same way. There are some agencies that you will get absolutely zero response from. They'll just press the delete button. Don't want to know you, on to the next. That's just reality. And you'll wonder why you're not getting a job. No one's going to give you feedback. And that is really hard for somebody who's starting off in their career. So the fact that you've got Karen and I working together to help you and say, okay, let's find out from the client where you went right, where you went wrong, what kind of feedback we can give you so you're better the next time around. We cannot guarantee you a job. We cannot guarantee you'll get a job first time. But what we can guarantee you is that you'll get the best possible chance to get work.
Great. Just moving ahead to the slide.
Okay, so obviously how we can help a little bit, I spoke about that more, obviously previously. What we'll tend to do is that once we get to understand what you're looking for, we can connect you with certain organizations and certain businesses that may be aligned. Now, I think also what's important to talk about here is that you don't need to finish your degree to start working. In fact, if you can start working along the way, that's even better because you're going to get some experience. So when you come into New Zealand, and once you've got yourself settled and you're maybe in your first year and you think, you know what, I need to start looking out and getting some experience, that's a really good time to start getting prepared to work in the New Zealand market, because as you go along and the more you work in the New Zealand market, the more likely you're going to get work and be offered a job, because that experience just grows and you understand how we work. It's mentioned here, obviously, the preparation of CVs, done that all before. Market insights, they go up and down. Right now, as I mentioned, it's a very hard time to get work, but it's a hard time to get work anywhere. The market will get better next year, without a doubt, but this year has been a tough year for most industries in New Zealand, and that's why it's even more important that if you can work with specialists and people understand how business works, it does set yourself apart and give you an advantage.
I think we were waiting for Karen to speak now. Is that correct? Karen, over to you.
A lot of what I'm going to talk about is reinforcing what Kate said. Career coaching really goes beyond creating a CV, a strong CV. It also involves how you present yourself through the interview process, from your body language, communication style, thought process, all of which is going to contribute to building your personal brand. So you need to start strong. And to do this, you need to build a strong foundation with a clear vision and strategy. And that's where we come in. So, this will help you approach your job search and building confidence, making it a lot easier to identify the right opportunities and make yourself a strong candidate for roles that genuinely align with your skills and goals. So we're talking about increased employment opportunities. And so this is going to give you our coaching will help you give a clear understanding of the New Zealand market and connect you to job opportunities that match your expertise. And by focusing on sectors and companies that need your skills, we're going to be able to help you navigate the job search and tap into networks. Kate, as you know, has got quite a lot, throughout New Zealand that can help increase your chances to finding employment. It's going to help you improve confidence and readiness. So when you go for an interview, it's not just about answering questions. As Kate said, it's about showcasing who you are as a person and a professional. Enhanced job satisfaction. It's about understanding your key strengths and your skills and your core values and what drives you, which is really essential. And, today, Kate may agree that many employers prioritise candidates whose values, skills and qualities align with their company culture. So by focusing on roles and workplaces that are a good match, and that's where we help come in, that you're more likely to feel valued and motivated in your work. So you've got career growth and progression. Our coaching programs are going to help you build a stronger personal brand that's going to highlight your unique skills, values and experiences, helping you to find those roles that really align with your qualifications and interest and personal values to help you, with that long-term job satisfaction. And it'll also help create a clear pathway for growth and development, which is going to offer, and we offer tailored strategies to equip you with the skills and confidence and the readiness to really succeed in future opportunities.
Thank you, Karen, on that. I think there'll be a lot to digest, and I have a lot of questions coming up in any case from my end, but I'll make sure that let the people ask more questions. So guys, everyone who have questions, please put on the Q&A before we're about to finish slides. We'll take the questions after that. Over to you, Karen.
Not a problem. So we're talking now about, why invest in career coaching and job guidance while you still choose to study abroad. And as Kate said, the job market has shifted, post-COVID. Many roles are require now different skill sets, and employers are increasingly looking for skill sets such as adaptability, resilience, collaboration qualities, and more that have been essential, that have become essential as teams operate in a more flexible work environment. So our career coaching services are going to help you understand these changes and help you build some of those skills that are now in demand, ensuring that you are well prepared to succeed. You'll have to excuse me, I'm almost losing my voice, but I'll continue. So a change in view of employer. Career coaching obviously is going to be able to help people navigate that job market and find those roles. So again, employers are looking for candidates who are not only skilled, but adaptable and culturally aligned. So we're going to be able to help you through that job market, helping you to understand the employer priorities and helping you to stand out, just like Kate's daughter did, in a way that meets, their expectations. We're looking at skill shortages. So there's a strong demand for skilled professionals, as you well know, with shortages such as healthcare, IT, finance, and more. So there is a high demand for capable professionals. And again, with our coaching and job guidance, we're going to be able to help you identify and develop those skills needed in today's market, so positioning you in a stronger position to bridge that gap. So I guess to sum up...
I just want to add there, Karen, too. Sorry to cut you off. When it comes to employers, I've seen a lot of the questions coming through, I have a civil engineer, I have this, I have that. The degree is actually a smaller component than what people realise. What most employers look for are actually the way that you interact with your people, the way that you communicate, the way that you come across. How hard are you going to work? Your dedication. Are you a 9-to-5 or are you a clock watcher? All those things. It's actually how your personality is like is actually more vital for Kiwi employers these days than your degree. Yes, your degree is absolutely still an important component, especially in the more specialised sectors. But I'm letting you know that, yes, you may have said this is a wonderful degree, but that is not going to necessarily give you a job. Because if you can't communicate and if you can't interact with people and if you can't write or be part of a team or put your hand up to do extra things, honestly, you won't get a job. It just doesn't work. That's how it works in New Zealand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think totally agreed on that. It's just a lot of things to be present on the soft skills side. But again, we will talk this in the question because I want to put a bit of Q&A on that. So because we can go in detail, I just want to make sure that we are covering the slides and then we move toward the Q&A. So again, I know there have been a lot of packages options here. Now, Karen and Kate, do you want to give a bit of brief about what is all included? And this link is on the website also of RBS. So Karen, you want to start first? What is covered in the starter package? And Kate, if you can talk about what we talk about the premium side.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned in the beginning, you've got to start strong. So you've got to build that foundation. You've got to understand your values, your goals, your strengths. So because when the company's going to ask you, you're going to need to know, be very clear on that. So defining the first program, the starter package, is going to help you define your career goals, to be able to articulate clear and achievable career goals that align with your career aspirations. And so that's going to really set the stage for your professional journey. Again, understanding your learning style and key strengths that are going to empower you to approach your career development in a way that really suits you best. Kate, I don't know if you want to jump in here, but
so that's right. And then obviously the premium package, that's the full, I guess what I would term as the hand-holding service. That's where you're going to be put through and helped in every regard. So that's in terms of how to apply, what questions to ask, how to interview, the introduction, the connections that I know, the connections that Karen knows, the links, the interviews, the contacts into recruitment agencies, the feedback that you'll be given, it's going to be the premium package. So when you're sitting at home, you're thinking, why didn't I get that job maybe at the starter level? Well, you're going to know why you didn't get the job at the premium level, because we'll give you that feedback, right? And that's going to be the difference. It's going to shortcut things. So, taking I'll be okay approach, and I think I'll be able to get a job myself, you might sit in the market for 6 months to 12 months to find something suitable. What these packages do is simplify that. So that 6 months will probably can halve that, if not more, with the introductions and the streamlining that we can make to help you further your career.
No, Kate, I've seen this package, and you mentioned that there is a 3-year personalized client marketing. What does that kind of clarify or make it? Like, are we going to the recruiters, or are we going to the employees directly and we're marketing the CV?
It's like on a case-by-case basis. So as I get to understand what the person's looking for and what they need, I'll probably connect them with the best person possible. So for example, in the engineering sector, for example, I know a lot of recruiters who've specialized in the engineering sector for, decades. So obviously I would connect them with those kind of people, because they've got a farther reach than I do. I mean, I've got an overview. I'm not a specialized view in terms of the engineering sector. But obviously I do have leads into some of the engineering companies, so I can hook, into contacts into there. So it's not an actual, I guess, one shoe fits all. It's definitely down to what that person is like, what they want. Some people also want to work for a large organization. Some prefer a smaller organization. So we've got to figure all that out before that kind of hand-holding becomes. But it's important to know that, if you're going to pay that amount of money, that you want to make sure that you get well looked after, that you get that specialized service, and you really feel you're getting the benefit of our experience to help you secure a job.
And I guess,
yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
To add to that, the coaching that we are able to give is really going to be designed to give you that edge to shine in the competitive market, and especially in a new country, which is all very, very new. So, I think, having that strong foundation, the Premium Plus, so we've got those 4 packages that we can offer. And with that, you're going to get, with the Premium Plus, with Kate, you're going to get everything. And that's quite a few hours of coaching and really investing in you to be able to be the best version of yourself.
And I totally agree. And I think there is a lot I can see, depend upon how things value. But what we have got the option from both Karen and Kate, that all the students which are going through RBS for the February intake, this is for offshore. They are getting the starter package as a part of the service, which will be, the cost will be covered by RBS, because we are kind of working with our students to support the outcome. But at the same time, if any students onshore or offshore, if they are gone through RBS, or if they applied through RBS in the past, they can come up to 25% discount from these options. Again, these are optional services, but at the same time, what we are seeing, the market will require a support, which is individualized support for a lot of students or candidates, if I say that. And we have met people which have got struggle in 2 to 3 months. But again, guys, just depend. When students are spending a decent $30,000 to $40,000 per year for the study, these services are in line to support them to make that career outcome better. But again, it is not the push factor here. Going to now the Q&A, which is pretty much a good topic which I want to cover in. So again, we have some questions from the people, but Kate, again, I'll ask a question to you from my end before I go to the question. What is one thing which you'll say that when we talk to, again, I don't want to quote any university counselor or career department, what difference you see and where you see the services will be more beneficial?
Well, I mean, a university counsellor has a great tool to have, but they're not in the market, right? They sit in a university and they work within the university and they do the best thing they possibly can, supporting the students. They're also probably got thousands of students coming their way, and can only offer a certain amount of time. So the difference is that I have worked in that market. I've actually recruited for corporates, businesses all over New Zealand, small and large. I know the intricacies on what leaders of these businesses are looking for in their teams. So I know what questions they're going to be asking you. I know the culture. I know the environment. I know their management. I know what they expect from staff, which no due respect, but the thing is that the counsellors within the universities, they don't know that. They don't have that. They're not in that every day. They're just offering the best advice and what they know. So I'm very hands-on. And on top of that also, the market changes all the time. So what you're telling your students, 6 months ago could be very different what you need to tell them in another 6 months, because it's always evolving and always changing. And so because I'm in the market every day dealing with this, I know exactly what's happening. And I know exactly what needs to change in order for that person to be the best person for the job. I feel like I'm on
And
a
I believe no, no, but I know, Kate, you've been now, but at the same time, I believe there is also kind of the numbers and volume of students going through
Oh,
the limited resources.
yeah, 100%.
So again,
small team.
so coming down, I think there are some questions I'll take from the client. Again, I'll take the study questions also, but there are non-study. So there's a guy called Ashok, and I said, I've been working as a civil engineer past 3 years. What are my chances to get a part-time civil engineering job while I'm studying? So get part-time jobs, and again, previous experience, will that be kind of, what do you recommend? Is that it should be in the regulates, same industry, or how difficult or how easy it is for you?
Once again, if I'm being brutally honest, I'd need to meet the individual, because it all comes across on how they are determined to what kind of firm they want to go into. It's all very well getting a degree, but as I said before, it comes more than a degree. Look, if you are the complete package, if you come across well, you've got a good degree, you're articulate, you're confident, you know how it works, and yes, there's definitely a chance of you getting a part-time role in New Zealand, but it's not as easy as it sounds. It's making sure that it's, as Karen suggested, that the whole package has to be right. Your socials, your CV, how you express yourself, how you turn up. It's a package deal. It's not just putting a CV forward and hoping that you're going to get a response.
Okay, I'll if I put this question separately, how many times you see that when people apply for a role which is relevant to their study, what are the basic issues they face immediately when you see, you as a recruiter or you as a HR person see the CV? What are the basic things are lagging immediately?
Well, the first thing is the competition is fierce, right? So you're one of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I think that sometimes, I'm not saying all, but sometimes people coming into New Zealand don't put the correct information on their CVs. So, when it's very important to be very upfront when you're dealing with an agency, you tell them the truth, right? Don't lie about things, don't try and change things, because we always find out. It's very easy to go through socials, it's very easy to have a conversation. So it's important to be open and honest, have a good CV, and then utilize and lean on that recruiter's experience. So ask them, say to them, what do I need to do to get ahead? What do I need to do to stand out from the market? So don't just send your CV through, follow up, bring forward, send them an email, be proactive in your approach. It's not our job to find you a job. It's your job to find you a job. I'm just a tool to help you. So the important thing I would give you a suggestion is to be proactive, and, don't just think that everyone's going to help you, because they won't.
But there will be a lot of changes too. I'll go to a CV that I think somebody asked about diploma in civil engineering levels is good. I think all the study question I'll take it in a bit later if you're okay, but then there are opportunities and options. There's an anonymous attendee saying, it is a worth investing in LinkedIn Premium for job hunting. Does it help? That's a very odd question, but
That's okay.
does the premium?
No, it doesn't help. I mean, it helps me because obviously I can see a lot more behind the scenes, but no, I don't think so. I think that, it's more important to have a good LinkedIn profile, to be honest. It's more important to clean up your socials and, make sure your Facebook, because we do look at Facebook, we look at all your socials and see what it's like. So I wouldn't worry about getting premium, no. That's my opinion.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay.
Can we apply for these services offshore? I believe, yes, you can apply offshore. It's just making sure that these services will be not kind of, I will say, from these are paid services. You can do it before, but if you're not moving to New Zealand, we just need to make sure that the context should not change. Is that correct? Kate and Karen?
So
Students sitting in offshore, they can do this.
Yeah, you can do it offshore. Depends. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I just don't want to get up at midnight, Barat, so it's got to be make sure it's in the.
Sure. No, it'll be always on the New Zealand timing.
I
Great.
think, Bharat, just to answer that question, I was working with skilled migrants offshore, and I was starting them going through the career packages, the workbooks that they were filling in. So there was a lot that they could do. And even if they didn't come to New Zealand, there was a lot that they learnt throughout the process, building their personal brand, helping them give their confidence, doing role plays, interview questions, so that they felt confident regardless whether it was in coming to New Zealand, Australia, or wherever. So yes, I think what we can still offer is very, very valuable anywhere in the world.
Great. I think there's a lot of anonymous in it. So guys, we will recommend, please put your name if you can, it'll be easier. I know we're not pointing anyone here, but going down, can I apply for a job in the field I'm currently working in India, then job related to the field I'm going to study for NZ? Now, how do you see this, Kate and Karen? If somebody goes for a different course and they have a very different background, how the CVs are taken by the HR people?
Karen, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer that?
Do you mind if you answer that one? Yeah, I'm not.
Sure. Look, it's a tough one, to be honest with you. They'll always try. Look, the thing with New Zealand, they'll always try and find someone who's actually worked in New Zealand before. So it's very frustrating when you're going to get, sorry, no New Zealand experience, sorry, no New Zealand experience. And that's going to happen a lot, right? So that just reiterates the importance of a program like this, because you're not going to get that feedback. You're going to be submitting your CV from India or in New Zealand, and you've got New Zealand experience, and you're going to be sitting there going, why am I not getting any feedback? And it's probably because you don't know how to, for example, apply for the right role, how to put your CV together in a New Zealand format, how New Zealanders operate. We don't all operate the same. Like if I was applying for a job in India, it's not the same as I applied for a job in New Zealand. So it's a different process. So if an HR manager got a CV from India, and highly likely, unless your skill was so sought after and they couldn't find anywhere else in New Zealand or probably even Australia, they may look at you, but they will look at New Zealand first, 100%, because you're here, you can start in a month, it's easier, transferable skills, it just makes it a lot simpler for them.
Yeah. Just that to Kate, the Premium Plus, I know, as I said, when you're just sending a CV through from another country, but with the Premium Plus, we're able to actually market. If they've been through the whole program, we've been able to actually physically market their potential out to a company and connect with a company, which I think may add that more value as well. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because we were talking,
sorry, go ahead.
By then, you see what I mean? The conversations had. So with the Premium Plus package, we get to work with you, we understand you, we've built out a relationship with you, and so then we can represent you like an agency would. So we would talk on your behalf, which makes it a lot easier for yourself, because it's a warm lead in. It's not going in cold, it's coming in from a recommendation from someone who's respected in the market.
I think I can only add from the immigration perspective that there's sometimes the work visas, if you don't have work visa or if you need a sponsorship, that becomes a bit of hindrance, because normally the pool is that what they see, what is available immediately and what you need a visa support, because a visa process can take between 3 to 6 months for the work visa. So that's where the hindrance may come in. Again, I believe Kate and Karen will agree to that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it can be a process. Once again, though, there have been clients that I've worked with, there have been many clients that I've worked with that have had to go through the visa application. But I can say that if they want you, they will speed it up. They'll make it come through faster. So it is a bit of a process, but if you get a job offer from a client that is accredited and can take you on board, there's ways of getting around it and maybe moving very fast.
Yeah, I think I know like some GP or nurses, not nurses, but GP is where you might need to get an opportunity. Now I'll go to the questions. Now, there's one question that will you be introducing recruiters through any of these packages? I believe is a Premium Plus package, Kate, is that correct?
Definitely. Yep, I know hundreds and hundreds of recruiters, so you don't worry about that.
Yeah, so that is a part, but it is not in every package. So you can go to the website of RBS, the Assistance Services column, there is a full page for that. It'll be great. But again, if you have any questions, you can please email us at hello@rbsintellect.com. Now, in any case, we will be reaching out to everyone who have joined the webinar today. I think specifically what is the job market like for a professional marketing in NZ? I believe there'll be two generic questions. The market the outcomes are there. But Kate, if you see overall, does everyone get a job, or are there some industries where the jobs are very difficult to get? Will you say anything on that, or will you say no? Jobs are um, available. I can see the percentage of unemployment is 5% or 4.7%.
There's a lot of people who are unemployed right now, being brutally honest. There's redundancies that are happening. So, and it's because it's because of the economy. But the economy it's turning, it's changing, and hopefully next year will be a better year. Does it mean that you won't get a job? No, it doesn't. It just means you've got to work harder, and you've got to got to be smarter about it, and you've got to be more streamlined, articulate, focused. And it takes resilience, and you just can't give up. Eventually you will get work, but you have to be dedicated. Like anything, with your degree, you're dedicated. With job hunt, you've got to be dedicated. And if you are dedicated and you put your best foot forward and you try really hard, opportunities will come about. Another ways of looking at it, that you could do some temp work, right? So temping is a very good way to start working in New Zealand. So I don't know whether Bharat's talked to you about temp work before, but essentially,
it's a part-time, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a job that you can, pick and choose when you want to work, so many hours, so many days, you get paid for those days, you start getting some experience, which can lead into a contract role, which can lead into a permanent job. So it's a nice way to come into the New Zealand market. So there's other ways of trying to get employment rather than going for that first job. You could start temping, you could start contracting, you start doing a fixed term contract. There are many different options.
Sure. Coming down to a scenario here, okay. I believe Seek have a lot of jobs, which is seek.co.nz in New Zealand. Now, how many jobs are on Seek, and do you think that there's a lot of jobs which are not on the Seek too? So again,
we always, as recruiters, when Seek was sitting around 27,000, we were like, yay, we're on the money. I think it's sitting at around 17 at the moment. So it's not 17, 18. I don't think it's that high particularly. There's not a lot of work on right now, right? And I think at the moment, what's happening is that a lot of clients are recruiting directly. So they're advertising and they're bypassing recruitment agencies for cost, right? But then when things get very, very busy, in-house HR, they don't have the time to recruit. So that's when they tend to go to agencies. Or if it's a very difficult job to fill, again, they'll go to agencies. In terms of percentages versus, what agency versus roles that aren't advertised, I honestly think, jeepers, that's a hard question to answer. I would say 80 to 85% of jobs are advertised within Trade Me, Seek, some way of advertising it. Otherwise, how are you going to find? LinkedIn is another way of finding work too. Actually, I forgot about LinkedIn. So that's another way. But yeah, most jobs will have to be advertised.
Yeah, but at the same time, do you think that people give a preference and priority on certain areas of CVs or certain way they hire the people? But jobs are there. 17,000 jobs in New Zealand is not less. It is still a lot of jobs. If I say only on Seek, we're talking about 25,000 jobs are there. So going down to question, what are there's a question about I'm planning to study early childhood education. What is the job market? And I can say there's a lot of jobs available for ECE.
That's a great career to have. That's a great career to have. I mean, it's like they're always needed. So, I mean, that's a very it's a role that you could start part-time working on the days while you're in between. So, I mean, yeah, I feel actually quite confident that that person will probably get work depending on what they come across like. But
sure. And again, I believe ECs also have some kind of background to go for the interview, if I say, because it's not so easy to represent and present yourself. Now, I'll go to the question that can we get more than 25% discount? I believe, I don't know. That's currently no. I think this is also a bit higher because this is just a start. We have got a good interest, what I've seen lately from Karen and Kate. But Kate, I believe that is the one and only discount. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think don't underestimate how much work goes in behind the scenes from Karen and I. You're looking at 30 plus 50 years combined of experience here. So, and our experience is not cheap. At the end of the day, it's the end result, right? You want a job, then you need to utilize us to get you that work. And we've got all the contacts, all the knowledge, all the experience. So I think, the back work that we have to do behind the scenes to help you is enormous.
Great. I think coming down these services, the question is again, they can be done now or later. Yes, services can be offered now. They will be charged. But when you're coming here, we normally recommend when you get a visa, you're here. It's easier to balance your first 2-3 months because there's a lot of work to be done. And again, we want to make sure that you get some support. Now, every package will range between 4 hours, if I understand, up to 15 to 20 hours of work behind the scene. So it's not easy. Karen, you want to add on that?
Oh, look, absolutely. And that's where, you can start prior, depending on which package you're looking to go with. The starter package, you're looking at approximately 4 hours, up to the premium package. I don't know, Kate, you're looking at what, 25?
Easily. Yeah.
30 hours
Yeah.
plus for that. So, that is something, as I said, there's a couple of workbooks that we'd go through. So we're building that personal brand for you. We're getting you job ready so that when Kate takes over with with what she's doing, you've got that great foundation to be able to start and get you on your way.
Sure. And I'll go on the, just want to run the question fast also. It's been a lot there. Now, coming down the average pay of digital marketing in NZ and what is there. See, giving down digital marketing, the range can start anything between 60, 65 and go up to 80, 85, depending on how many years of experience. We have seen jobs of over 100,000 also in digital marketing. Is that correct, Kate? I'm just putting some numbers out from the
Yeah, it just
peak.
obviously depends on, how much experience you have. If you're a starter and was it just a straight marketing role? Is that what the question was?
Yeah, it's a digital marketing role.
A digital marketer. Base salary start off probably 65, 70, I would say, in your first year. And then it would go up from there. But yeah, when you get into that, the higher space into like more experience and the further up the food chain, you're probably looking at around 150, 160 and probably at the top end.
Sure. Going down to the does this packages include any part-time job support or full-time job support? I believe there is a way we have been putting our networks around to give you a part-time option, full-time, but we don't guarantee jobs.
Yeah, of course.
Kate,
At the end of the day, we're not here to just be one-dimensional. When we work with you, we're going to make sure that we're going to discuss what option suits you best, right? And if we feel that you just start off in a temp position or a part-time role to get some experience so you can work into it, then we'll work with you through that. We're not just going to say, here's the package and see you later. It's a very hands-on, communicative, looked after approach. That's the way that Karen and I both work.
Great. I'll go to 3 more questions. I think there's a lot of specific questions are coming. I'm going with my spouse visa as my husband is applying for study. I've been a nurse in India for 2 years. How do you think I can secure a job in NZ?
And as a nurse?
As a nurse. So I have the answer again if you wanted, Kate, to go in. So again, anybody going from a nurse perspective, you need to have a registration done as a nurse in New Zealand. So there are short programs of CAB. There are some, recently there are frees from the jobs, but you can work in the healthcare sector in healthcare assistant, or you can work as an enrolled nurse, or you can work as RN, depend upon your background. So if you're a registered nurse in your home country, you need to get yourself registered again in New Zealand if you're not from a OECD country, which is UK, Ireland, Australia, Canada, or US, because the registration from example like India, Malaysia is not accepted by Nursing Council of New Zealand. Yes, there are jobs depend upon which region and how you apply. There's a lot of rural nursing jobs out there.
And you may start off in a different role within a hospital while you're kind of retraining the New Zealand way. So there's opportunities out there. It doesn't mean you just probably won't go straight into a nursing role. Well, you won't go into a nursing role.
Yeah, agreed. You can't go to direct nursing, you have to go to healthcare work. So going down to another question will be, is that, again, ready-made garment or textile business? See, there is a lot of retail job. New Zealand is not a big manufacturer of the garments. So if you are in the retail sector, there are a lot of options of jobs, but you can also go in merchandise. Is that correct? The manufacturing is not very great in New Zealand. It's more on merchandise and export coming in the picture.
Yeah, there's a lot of it goes offshore.
Now, that's a very tricky question, Kate. If somebody has done a Bachelor's of IT, do you recommend as a recruiter they should change your stream to Masters of Management in Supply Chain, or they should continue with the IT? What does a recruiter thinks about it?
So can you say they have a Bachelor in IT?
Somebody have done Bachelor of IT and they're coming to New Zealand for Masters in Management for Supply Chain. Will you recommend to people change their career background, or they can have a multiple benefits when they go in 2 different areas?
I think there's a benefit in going into that area, to be honest with you. Supply chain's a good area to get into. There's always a need.
Yeah, but in terms of somebody who has done a Bachelor of IT, they will not have any experience. Will that be an issue with the job?
Correct. Yes, there will be an issue with the job. 100%. I mean, again, I mean, once again, it depends on what the client's looking for. I mean, you've got a degree, but it's probably not as specialized as it needs to be. And again, it depends on how they come across and all the rest of it. But the supply chain area is a good area to get into in New Zealand. So you could start off a lower level role than what you probably would in an IT position, and just start off a lower level role and work your way up, and you could restudy as you go, or do it that way. But there's opportunities, I would say, in that space.
Great. I think looking for a PhD scholarship, are you able to support in guide? See, again, again, this is a student who is asking for a PhD. See, for all the PhD or masters, we can get you the admission support. For PhD, you have to find a research supervisor. But again, for all the guidance, if you can email us, with your CV, our team will get in touch with you. I'm just putting the email ID for everyone to go through. It's easier to touch base to us, because any specific question which have a detailed reply, I will be not answering that question today. It is a specific webinar. So, I'm planning to take a professional accounting in NZ. How is the market, and what also does studying in a university benefit more than securing a job than polytechnic? So, Kate, is there a difference between going to university and polytechnic, and what are the jobs of accounting?
I mean, accounting's great, right? It's a field that there's always work, and for numerous reasons. I mean, whether we work into the top four, or you work into a small organization. What would I recommend?
Great. Again, I think, yeah, I can recommend on this polytechnic and university will be easier. See, a university is always, again, depend upon your resources, depend on your financial, what you're studying. Both the institutions are recognized. Now, if you want to see the ranking and the structure, universities do have that listed. Whereas if you talk about New Zealand context, polytechnics or we call ITPs are a good option, and depend again what you're looking into it. If you want ranking or a bigger infrastructure, universities are always good. There are institutions and polytechnics and university which are similar infrastructure in the size too, but then again it's a individual choice. The fees difference is not more than $3,000 to $5,000. So depend on what you're looking into it. Over 600 applicants for role. What can be done? Ensure CV stands out for the first screening. So, Kate,
that's what you got to pay for, isn't it?
That's what the package comes in. So again, this is where
that's my knowledge.
Sure, I think that's fair enough, Kate, and we totally agree with that. So again, whoever is there, please send your CV if you want to go in, or you can reach out to hello@rbs, or please email us. We will connect you with Kate and Karen on that side. What background need for EC jobs? You need to complete as a graduate diploma early childhood or relevant qualification which can give you registration. So that's the next course. And go to hello, I want to apply for diploma in civil engineering level 6. Is a worth for international students, and what are the scope after completion of the course? See, again, if you're applying for level 6 civil engineering, there are certain cases where you can get a post-study work option. But my suggestion is that if you're going for civil engineering, go for a bachelor option also. Both the courses are into a green list, and they can help you with the post-study work options for a longer duration. Now, it is also relevant to your PR pathway opportunity too. We can talk through our LI support. Luckily, we don't have any licensed immigration advisor today on the call who can talk about residency. So we're not talking about that. This is a job support webinar. Like, we have another 3-4 minutes to go in. Would it be possible to get recruitment support from you for a mid-career NZ PR? That is again mid-career, which means that somebody is around the age of 35 to 40, 45. I send the CV for assessment. Kate, what do you think?
Sorry, so what's the question?
So people if somebody wanted to send you a CV to assessment, they are into their mid-career, probably range of 30 to 40. Will that be good to go around and discuss what the options are?
Good experience. Yeah. That's great. I mean, honestly, age is just a number. It's all about attitude. It's all about putting your best foot forward. Definitely. No, so you've got experience, and which is, a benefit.
Yeah, but idea is that they can send a CV to us for assessment, and then you can tell that okay, they need a package to go in, or they are good enough to go into the interview of the job. Is
yeah,
that correct?
yeah. Yes, that's correct.
So again, please,
Karen would
again,
do
whoever
this.
it is, yeah. So
Sorry,
if you
Karen.
can send, so guys, if you can send your CV at hello@rbsintellect.com, we can come back to you with the various options, or you can also email. I'm putting it Karen's email ID also. If somebody want to get in touch with Karen directly, you're welcome to do that. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yes. Great. Any other things? Any other questions? I believe I have not seen. I've covered a lot of questions. Anything you want to add, Kate or Karen, in the last few minutes before we apart for today's webinar?
I'll let you sum it up, Kate. Otherwise, I might start coughing. Sorry.
Look, my view is that obviously, you know, both of us have got decades and decades of experience. That alone is going to help you come into the market. And I said to you before, it's you know, right now the New Zealand market is tough. So you've got to make sure that you put your best foot forward. And I honestly believe not many people can do that without help, right? You need the help, and you should reach out for the help, because you'll see the huge benefit that comes from all those contacts, all that experience, all that know-how. You'll just feel supported. You'll feel relieved. You'll feel like you've got someone you can talk to that's going to guide you and understands the frustrations and also what you're looking for. And just having that person there is it's a relief for a job hunter, especially when you're a young job hunter and you're in another country and you don't know what to do and you don't know what you're looking for. So I'm just suggesting that, you know, look at the packages, take this thing seriously. And if you feel like it's something that you want to inquire more about, then reach out.
And I think your daughter will be testimonial to that, Kate. You know,
Yeah.
she tried to do it by herself, well, like a lot of job seekers do, but to be able to get the experience that you're able to offer and I'm able to offer just is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Great. I think that is lovely to hear from you guys. But again, thank you everyone for joining today. And thank you, Kate and Karen, for supporting us. I'll be stopping the recording. But again, it's a lot to work in, a lot to discuss. And again, a lot can be offered. It's just, we have to see the value out of it. Is that correct? Thank you again. Thank you, everyone.